Yokoso konnichiwa and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Japan Open 2016. I'm Adam Babro, your commentator, and that is Ma Long, the dictator, the dragon, the man on top of the world ranked #1, the most unbeaten player in the last 2 years of the World Tour. And he's here in the men's singles semifinals for what should be an explosive battle. Fireworks from both sides. It's the Cloudwalker, world ranked #3, Xu Xin, 26 years old, the most entertaining player in table tennis today. Seems to be able to reach just about everything on the court. He's the top pen holder in the world. He's playing the top player in the world. This match will be umpired by Japan's Chiaki Tadanori and assistant umpire Chan Chi-wai from Hong Kong, China. So these two always creating some explosive points, outstanding rallies. Xu Xin, when he's very focused and stays near the table, tends to be a bit more threatening. Head-to-head against Ma Long, they've played 22 times on the World Tour. And on the World Tour, 16 of those 22 have been won by Ma Long. So an overwhelming winning percentage for Ma Long, although recently, to start this year off, Xu Xin beat Ma Long in the Chinese trials before the World Championships that was happening in January. So if anyone can beat Ma Long, there are, I'd say, 2 or 3 players here who can do it, all of which seem to be his teammates. And Xu Xin is one of the most likely to do it, probably behind Zhang Jike on the World Tour. So it should be an exciting showdown. Of course, speed, agility, spin, strength, and creativity. Xu Xin, the most creative player in table tennis, in my opinion. From the lobbing game, the fishing game, the snakes under the table, unpredictable serves. He had an around-the-net backhand versus Fang Bo earlier in this tournament. You never know what you're going to get with Xu Xin, which is why we call it the Xu Xin Show whenever he's playing. So it's been a long road for both of these players to get here, and this will be a big determining factor. It is a super series in terms of world rankings, in terms of the race to Doha. And in that race to Doha for the World Tour Grand Final, Xu Xin is #8 on the list, Ma Long #1. Ma Long #1 in just about everything right now. Although if you were watching live yesterday, Fan Jiandong hitting the under the net clamp roller against Simone Gauzy, one of the best shots we've seen in some time in professional table tennis. Some of the credits here for Ma Long going back to 2011, but to tell you the truth, having 2 titles already this year, the Qatar Open and the German Open, 2 Super Series tournaments for Ma Long under his belt, and last year taking just about everything he entered except this title, the Japan Open. Last year he had 6 titles. He took the China Open, the Kuwait Open, Germany Open. All 3 of those were the Super Series titles. Then he had the Men's World Cup. He was the World Champion and the World Tour Grand Finals champion. Xu Xin is the defending champion from here in Japan. Last year was flooded with media. It was very difficult. We did our Ask a Pro Anything interview there. And by the way, he's not into snorkeling, but snookers rather. Xu Xin is a very good billiards player, along with karaoke and some other stuff. We get a chance to see his outrageous forehand and fast footwork. Lu Guoliang coined the phrase the Cloudwalker. Another pen holder, legend in Chinese table tennis, of course. Grand Slam champion Lu Guoliang, but there will be no coaching right now because it's the same national association, both of these players coming from China. And how they got here? Well, Ma Long beat Yuto Muramatsu in the opening round, then Jung Young Shik, Jun Mizutani after that. Now here he is against Xu Xin, and so far Ma Long has not dropped a game in this tournament, not a single game. Xu Xin on the other side, beating Jin Takuya in the opening round. Following that, it was Fang Bo, who he dropped a game to, winning 4-1. Then Wang Chunting, you had a chance to see yesterday live, 4-1 for Xu Xin. And for one of these players, it's going to be the end of their tournament run. Who's it going to be? The man in blue, the Cloudwalker? Dragon, the dictator in red. Either way, whenever you have a chance to see these two play, there's always something to learn, and there's definitely something to enjoy and celebrate.
Ma Long versus Xu Xin. First game, Xu Xin to serve. Love all.
So here we go, best of 7. Xu Xin's gonna start off with the serve. Serve left just a little bit high. Ma Long quick to jump in and take advantage. A little bit off the top of the net, but outstanding angles as Ma Long blocks it out wide, and Xu Xin's forehand does the job. It really starts early on in the point, though. Look how much side spin Xu Xin gets on some of these shots. Makes it very difficult to block or even counter back. Now, this is one ingredient you're going to see in the match a lot more against Ma Long, Xu Xin's backhand. There was a good probably 2-year stretch where Xu Xin wasn't winning too much against Ma Long because he would insist on taking forehands and leave open the wide forehand.
1-3.
Break off the top of the net and back edge of the table for Ma Long there. Beautiful flip with quick agility. Xu Xin covers the middle, getting the upper body out of the way for the counter. Everything seems to be a little bit tighter in terms of serves, shots crossing the net, everything very low to the net. Look at the trajectory of that ball. They really need to dial it in against each other. Toughest competition either of them has had yet in this tournament. Xu Xin is known not only for his fast feet and creativity, but his touch, and you could see right there how he really took away the third ball opportunity for Ma Long. Gets in quickly to take it right off the bounce, keep it low to the net. And the favor is returned. Ma Long with that received soft on the backhand side. Feels like about 50% of Xu Xin's serves have clipped the top of the net so far. Again, the importance of keeping them low. Excellent placement. Now, I talked to you a lot yesterday about how flexible the wrist is in the pen-hold game. Xu Xin's shots are very difficult to predict in the placement. You could see he wrapped around on that last one, bending it deeper into the backhand. See him sort of pull across the body, add a little bit of side spin to his loop. Oh, back edge for Ma Long in the fishing game. Again, this is a bit of role reversal, but I think it's a good sign that Xu Xin is very focused on staying close to the table. Tends to have a habit of backing off, getting into the show game a little bit. And while Ma Long did get the break there, the odds are going to favor Xu Xin when he's in the attacking game close to the table and gets Ma Long off the table. Another edge for Ma Long, just collecting the luck in game one. I mean, there's still quality shots, of course. taking a good spinny loop, but these are unintentional. Bit of fortune for Ma Long. The facial expression of Xu Xin. But so far, the best facial expression, Simone Gauzy against Fan Zhendong with his roller under the net clamp yesterday. And it turns around a bit. A little break off the top of the net for Xu Xin. Strong combination, half-long serve, a bit on the forehand side, gets Ma Long out of position, a soft receive in the inside-out forehand for the finish. This is Xu Xin's bread and butter right here, the step-around attack, and look at the angle. Ma Long just a step behind, has no chance to reach this ball. And as usual, full arm extension from Xu Xin. Very focused, staying at the table. Consistency on the backhand side has been the issue, or an issue definitely, for Xu Xin. One nice thing about that backhand is, even if it's a little slower, it's very spinny and difficult to read. Heavy topspin on that loop, keeps it low and out in front of Ma Long. Again, if any part of your game is too predictable, including the rhythm, the trajectory of your shot, it's easier for your opponent to be ready. Ma Long wasn't quite prepared for that softer, spinnier shot there by Xu Xin. Outstanding chop. And you see world #1 chopping from near the table. Seems crazy, but nothing seems to fluster Ma Long. Look at this. Ball doesn't even come back. 3 game points for Ma Long here to take the first. Heavy side spin on the serve and 1 game point saved. Out of all the great shots of Ma Long, I think my personal favorite, World Championships a few years ago, where he took a forehand sort of side spin chop from right at the table. I think it might have been against Tomas Konechny. Incredible shot. But here we go, 2 game points left for Ma Long. There it is, spinny loop down the short side of the table. Game 1 to Ma Long, 11 points to 8, and we'll be back for game 2. It's always an exciting one with these two. Stick around, game 2 after this. Players are back for game 2. Ma Long's going to start off with the serve. Well placed wide out to the forehand. First point for Ma Long. Not too many players can put that much pressure on Xu Xin to make his lob come off when he's behind the table by a little bit. Tight serve again, earns the 3rd ball. And one thing Ma Long's not credited for is how tricky his serves are. Not flashy, very difficult to read. The over-the-table game, the forehand flip kill from Xu Xin. One of his strengths, making him the doubles world champion in men's doubles and mixed doubles in 2015. And the lighter spin serve in over the table. Ma Long overcompensates, lifting. Now, in Ma Long's career, before this tournament, he's been in the semifinals on the World Tour 44 times and has won 75% of those. Xu Xin, on the other hand, 32 times in his career and just winning over half, winning 18 of the 32.
2-4.
And that shot's a little bit wild, pretty ambitious. You can see right here the placement on serve. Ma Long serving a lot out to the forehand side of his left-handed opponent. Again, that's the length of the table. The most common serve in table tennis is serving cross-court to the length. A bit more margin for error. Half-long serves are easier to do. For example, the longer side of the half-long serve comes off the table, but close enough to the edge in the corner to give Ma Long some trouble. Not a lot gives Ma Long trouble, but a very well-placed serve can do it, especially if it's low to the net. Ripping backhand, the most powerful one we've seen from Xu Xin yet to tie it up here in game 2. It's a fine balance for Xu Xin getting this backhand into play. He's definitely got the power there. Again, a little less consistent than his forehand shot. We'll see how he mixes it up and how he balances here. Oh, punched out to the open court. Ma Long forcing the hesitation and the soft receive. Still a topspin shot from Xu Xin, but not quite enough on it to be a threat. Hits his shirt. It's Ma Long's point. It's okay. It's good to clap for that. Good sportsmanship. Xu Xin quickly acknowledging the ball hit his shirt. I guess that should be the standard honesty. Just incredible. So many times Ma Long has burned him out on the forehand side, and he hasn't even committed. Xu Xin hasn't been stepping around too much. This is the old habit. But that's right to the opposite line. Since I brought up honesty, check out a video called Integrity on YouTube, Wang Liqin versus Wang Hao. That was something pretty emotional, pretty crazy. Outstanding video. And the break's coming back for Xu Xin. The Xu Xin forehand, when he steps around and plays it wide out to Ma Long's forehand, seems like it might be one of his best chances to take some points here. We've seen Ma Long block it back out, though, even with the ball coming into Xu Xin's body from wide on the forehand to the open forehand side of the table. But the backhand does it, keeps it low. Spinny opening shot. And again, the backhand is less predictable, even though it's less consistent. When Xu Xin makes it, it just changes in trajectory all the time. Sometimes pretty fast, deep on the table. Sometimes a little more arc and spin. Tied back up. I think it's important for Xu Xin to take this game typically tends to take the first games against his opponents. Although, again, when you're playing Ma Long, it's different from anyone else in the world. Talking with Vladimir Samsonov last night, Ma Long, pretty clear, most unbeatable player in the game right now.
8-7.
Looked like Ma Long was checking for cracks to see if there was anything on the ball. Ooh, a risky shot from Xu Xin, and the risk goes the way of Ma Long, blocking it out to the open court again. When you play the short side of the table, stepping around, this is the risk you take. That's a difficult shot for Xu Xin, but just not enough pace on it to really deter and bother Ma Long. Looked like the easier shot would have been going the other way. So you'd think it might have fooled Ma Long. I would have expected a cross-court shot there. Ma Long keeping the fast-paced ball into the backhand side. In the over-the-table games, Xu Xin has been quite dominant with his backhand. But once the rally starts, the ball's coming in much quicker, but tougher to set up for. Touch of Xu Xin keeping it low. Now, over the years, Ma Long, the one ingredient that it seemed like he might have been missing before 2015 was confidence. The hardest working player in the game, best complete game all around. But when it came time for big tournaments against Zhang Jike, some of the biggest titles, you could see he would get a little bit nervous. Now, in 2015, no question, most dominant player on the planet, and still to this day. But it does seem like Xu Xin is getting in his head a bit, making him nervous. Beautiful shot. Xu Xin double pumping, hesitating for a moment, but still getting the forehand in. And the placement right on the elbow of Ma Long. Look at the quality of that ball right to the baseline of the opponent's side of the table, kicking. Now game point for Xu Xin here with his second serve. And the flip from Ma Long, not fast enough to bother Xu Xin's backhand. Game 2 goes to Xu Xin, and we're tied up. The match just getting interesting. We'll be back for Game 3 to see who takes the lead right after this short break. And the players are back for Game 3. Ma Long in red, Xu Xin right there, the Cloudwalker in blue, taking the last game. And again, starting the point strong. Even if it's soft touch, it can be very effective for Xu Xin to get the opening attack. There's that spinny, slightly slower backhand. Again, it's all relative. A slow shot for Xu Xin's backhand is still faster than most in the world top 100. Goes for the ambitious down-the-line backhand, but to no avail. There's that touch in the receive game. Right off the bounce again, taking away Ma Long's third ball attack. You can see how quickly he turns and shifts his weight to get moving to the forehand side. This is why Xu Xin gets so many balls back on the table. Beautiful shot right into the elbow. Ma Long finding the middle, even with Xu Xin so far away from the table. Look at this shot, one into the backhand, hooking, top and side spin. And for Xu Xin to have to get so low to the ground, doesn't have a lot of time to react to that ball. Again, playing world rank #1. Recovery off the top of the net for Xu Xin, but can't hang on to the point. Now these two players have performed some of the greatest exhibition points I've ever seen from the practice halls and training in China. Sitting on the floor, going around the net. Again, beautiful play, unpredictable from Ma Long. Xu Xin not expecting it to come back out to the forehand side. You can see there where Xu Xin's playing into the backhand a little bit more, but pretty evenly spread on the table. As far as unpredictability goes, those stats right there show you how unpredictable it is, where he's going to go and where he's going to win the point. Fast long serve, but not quite fast enough. Xu Xin quickly gets his body out of the way. It seemed like he had a little extra time after this second bounce. Yeah, the serve comes up just a little bit too high. Ma Long really keeps his weight forward on that and explodes through the ball, keeping the pressure and the top spin on. And one thing that sets some of the top players in the world apart from some of the others, I would say, is their balance, really. Their ability to stay balanced, to recover quickly, keep their weight forward and in. Physical conditioning, absolutely. Top Chinese players in the world. Xu Xin right there. Ma Long, both incredibly agile, incredibly fast. Able to get full arm strokes, recover and do it again from the back of the table. It seemed like that serve got away from Xu Xin a bit. Rare to see a long serve that comes out to the forehand that's not really fast. Outstanding counter, the backhand from off the table. Xu Xin with a little bit of time powers up and takes the point from off. Now generally a player doesn't have to worry after looping deep to the backhand when the player's off the table. They'll tend to continue fishing or lobbing. Xu Xin, very aggressive, ambitious play right there. After a long push, it's the counter attack to the middle of the table from Xu Xin to tie it up. Look at this one more time. Long push and closes quickly. As long as the stroke is of Xu Xin, he can vary it and sometimes takes less backswing. See how low the ball is from that angle as it sneaks under the racket of Ma Long. I was reminded of their exhibition points watching Xu Xin roll the ball on his racket on the forehand rubber. I've even seen him catch the ball and carry it.
7-6.
That's 3 points in a row for Xu Xin. Oh, turns the corner, leaves the whole other side open, and Ma Long just miscalibrates with all the side spin on the serve. overcompensates trying to play the line. Again, the threat of the third ball and having an opponent who's so fast forces you to make it extra wide so we can't reach it. This time the spin overpowers Xu Xin. Quality loop from Ma Long. It's his first point out of the last 5. And even though Xu Xin was down pretty well, still needed to be forward a little more to stay on top of that top spin. Beautiful placement right into the body. Looked like Xu Xin was going to go cross court. Mixing it up, it's that unpredictability. You remember the stats from where he's placing the ball. Watch this. Comes around the ball, hooking back into the body. Surprise, surprise for Ma Long. A little surprised we didn't see the opening attack from Xu Xin early. He tried to mix it up and play it soft, but allowed Ma Long the opening attack instead. If the ball's actually kept short for a second bounce on the table, a surprise like that can pay off. Outstanding point. Xu Xin off balance with that first forehand loop. Was completely caught off guard, but focused to keep the ball in play. Look at this one. It's the second or third time we've seen him on one foot taking a loop in this match so far. And then again, the placement on the follow-up attack down the line to the forehand side. Now 2 game points for Xu Xin. Oh, a little break off the edge, but it's a strong receive from the backhand side, and Xu Xin steps into the lead, 2-1 over the most unbeaten player of the last 2 years, Ma Long. We'll be back for game 4. Stay right here.
Fourth game, Ma Long to serve. Love all.
We're back for game 4. Ma Long now with the serve, looking a bit flustered out here as he's trailing 1-2 against Xu Xin. These are the only 2 games he's lost so far this tournament. I guess that's not even highlighting the point that not only has he lost his first game this tournament to Xu Xin and his second, but that he's actually losing the game or the match right now. He's behind. A little bit upright and off balance for the second backhand loop. Xu Xin often gets used to the ball not coming back after his backhand, after his opening backhand loop. Oh, from down below the table, the hooking shot. There was an edge in there somewhere. Xu Xin patiently waits for the ball to drop, goes around the net. Let's see it one more time here. Down near the ground, right at the back of the table. With the touch game, Ma Long keeps it softly on the table. so much power, times it just right for that backhand. The safe shot, takes the topspin, plays the length of the court. Unbelievable effort from the Cloudwalker. Two of those shots looked unreachable. He just doesn't give up. It's like every moment that the ball's dropping, he still has 2 steps. Look at this from down near the ground, just missing. Full reach there. This is what makes Shushin so great to watch. The ball just keeps coming back. Unless, of course, he gets the opening attack. Thinking back to the lobbing points of Shushin, you might recall the point that he lobbed down Fan Zhendong when the racket flew out of Fan Zhendong's hand, clipping the table last year. So much wrist on that shot from Ma Long over the table, very spinny receive. Now it's easy to lose focus when you get a lead. Shushin has been quite aggressive so far, staying at the table. And the placement on his attacks from the opening backhand and even his step-round forehand have been crucial.
6-2.
That stays right up against the net. Even with Shushin's speed and reach, tough one to get back. Now the confidence factor for Ma Long, a big factor in how he plays. Talked about how 2015 he seemed to really find his confidence, but Shushin's going to have to keep him back up against the ropes here.
2-8.
With a one-sided score like this in the fourth, it could really give Ma Long the confidence he needs to come back and start dominating.
2-8.
Well placed on the block, anticipating the forehand flip right back into the body. Again, one of the most classic combos in table tennis. Bring the opponent in near the net and then keep him deep on the table to the opposite side. Just too good. Wide off the table with that backhand from in over. Low to the net. Seemed like it clipped a little bit on the way. Short side of the table's left open for Ma Long, but a lot of spin from Shushin on the receive. Still a long way to go for Shushin. Just missing there. Clever right off the bounce receive. We've got 6 game points for Ma Long to tie it up. Persistence from the backhand corner, both sides of the racket for Shushin. We got to see some serves, the reverse there. Not too often we see that sort of spin from Shushin on his serve. Goes for it again, but a service error, and it's game to Ma Long. 11-5, tied up at 2 games each. We'll see who steps into the lead in game 5 right after this short break.
Fifth game.
Back for game 5. Shushin's going to start off with the serve. Tied up at 2 games each. Outstanding pace, and Shushin starts the footwork running around the backcourt. How much he gets around for these shots. Quick to take the forehand again. Move to cover the wide forehand if he needs to. Well placed, some side spin as that ball kicks from the body out to the forehand side. You can see the look of surprise and shock from Shushin as the ball jumped past him. Now remember, Ma Long winning almost 75% of the matches on the World Tour that he plays against Shushin. But if Shushin can't upset this order, on the other side, it's going to be Fan Zhendong and Zhang Jike, the winner of that, waiting for the winner of this match here. I think that's a wise investment for Shushin, playing the short touch game. Receiving short has been more effective for him than going for the opening attack, earning the 4th ball. The deep cutting push there. Running Ma along the point, just loading it up with spin. Well placed again, right into the pocket for Ma Long. Quick to jump on the opportunity. And much like Shushin, you can see the placement is incredibly varied here. The unpredictability factor just all over the table. Only by the slightest of margins into the backhand. The last several points you've seen Ma Long win have been placed into the body of Shushin on the backhand corner. And once again, seems to be the secret for now. Wouldn't be surprised to see those statistics changing a little bit if the match continues the way it's going right now. Smart play, crosses the body, a little side spin for Shushin from off the table. Crowd loving what they see. Again, very creative play from Shushin. Look at him come across the ball there. Instead of putting extra top spin on and coming over, giving him less familiar shot to Ma Long to try to deal with. Huge shot from down low. Ma Long getting a little vocal there, and definitely deserved. Both players testing each other here. Soft shot let down low. Pretty rare to see Shushin doing the robot out there, leaving the elbow up like that. Seems to be his way of saying, wow, didn't expect the ball to kick so much. Break off the top of the net, but the opening backhand strong for Xu Xin. He's been doing that reverse serve a little bit more. Bending the ball into the body and the backhand side of Ma Long. This is the advantage of the reverse penhold backhand. You could see how much wrist and the back motion there was to really load the ball with spin. Xu Xin gets the opening opportunity with his forehand like that, has the time to really load up. Ball rarely comes back. Well anticipated for the flip, quick to get down and ready. The surprise factor on this, he comes in with the racket head up, holds on for just a moment, so you think, I wonder what I'm going to get. Is he going to push? And then flips it deep into the backhand corner. 3 points in a row for Xu Xin to tie up the game here at the second towel break. Power on the step around, the bread and butter. Back to the basics for Xu Xin. But he's mixing it up. He's just keeping it part of his game. And again, the reverse spin on the serve. We've got a timeout for Ma Long. Again, neither player has a coach in their corner. It's just a question of sitting with themselves in solitude or standing in the corner, taking a moment to break the rhythm, think through what they want to do. Having a chance to talk to Vladimir Samsonov last night. Talked about how sometimes the timeout is just a chance to rest. I guess it's a little bit different for him, as sometimes he's changing his shirt and sitting out of the court. But even still, whether it's icing the kicker, slowing down your opponent, Ma Long recognizes 4 points in a row for Xu Xin. Something needs to change. And the passive timeout as he falls into the losing score right now. Xu Xin takes the lead. Ma Long still with a chance to turn things around. This was actually the score when Samsonov called his timeout against Stefan Fagel, down 6-7. Comes back to win 5 points in a row and take the game. What is it that Ma Long is going to change? We haven't seen too many backhand banana flip receives from Ma Long in some time. Those are pretty effective earlier on in the match. But again, the placement of Xu Xin's serve, not to mention the third ball, makes it very difficult for Ma Long to get such a quality receive. And that's heavy spin. Ball comes just a little bit long, tempting Ma Long to take the opening, inviting it. I think that's the second time we've seen that service attempt from Xu Xin. The last time it didn't work, but this time it was exactly as he planned it. So much space on that backhand from off the table, moving deeper into the backhand corner, a cross-court rocket. See this one more time. That's all it takes. Doesn't even need to get the forehand into play. A quality shot while he's in near the table. 3-point lead for Xu Xin. The receives don't get any better from over the table. And the penhold grip definitely lends itself to over the table play. Look at this wrist. Completely parallel to the table. So close, the racket, as he comes over that ball, now has 4 game points. Spinny shot does it, a 3-2 lead. Xu Xin 1 game away from defeating the most undefeated player of the last 2 years. We'll be back to see if it happens or if Ma Long sends it to a decider. Game 6 just after this. players come back to the table. It's Xu Xin, the Cloudwalker in blue, who's leading over Ma Long, the Dragon, the Dictator. Right now, Xu Xin's doing some dictating of his own. Backhand is so strong right now. The percentages have gone way up since the first few games for the backhand of Xu Xin. Right after saying that, a backhand goes out. I think he's going to have to stay confident in taking that shot. We'll see. Mixing it up has been a huge ingredient, big factor for both of these players. And the timing there for Ma Long just seems off. You can see he's flustered right now. Slower, spinnier ball. Seems a bit hesitant to come in and just pounce through, punch down to the opposite side. Again, Xu Xin able to watch the ball a little bit longer than most, take it later, lower near the ground, even with that opening angle from Ma Long, which would cause a lot of trouble to most people. Xu Xin lets the racket get low, takes an extra step. And it's times like this where Ma Long would take a timeout if he still had one, but it was used in the last game and didn't seem to benefit him. Turning it around, we're going to see a backhand serve, mixing it up. Sometimes a little change here and there, even if it's not even the spin, but the placement, or even just psychological, really. We've seen a lot of change in service from players in trouble. Jun Mizutani against Xu Xin did something similar. Took the backhand serves. Something Samsonov likes to do. Move around on the table, change up the placement of where he's serving from, just to mix it up, change the balance of the opponent, make the game a little less predictable. Ouch, just crushes it back. I mean, we're seeing Ma Long confident right now, taking these shots. He looks like a different player than how he started this match. But the counter here, not a lot of room on the table to sneak it past Ma Long on the forehand side. Placement again, half long, just short enough to make sure it might not come off the table, forcing hesitation out of Ma Long on the receive. Looks like he's going to go with another backhand serve. Completely fooled Xu Xin, frozen in his footsteps. For the Cloudwalker to be the ice stander is a pretty rare occasion. Look at this. Has no way to tell where Ma Long's going to go with this last ball. With some inside-out spin wide to the forehand. Forehand flip from over the table. Xu Xin right now seems to be on point. Now we've seen Ma Long have comebacks in similar situations. Last year against Yuya Oshima was down 2-6, 4-7 before scoring 7 points to win the match in the 7th.
7-4.
As far as service errors go, when the game gets tight, Xu Xin against Fan Zhendong earlier this year had 6 service errors in the first 5 games of the match. Again, he's been doing that reverse serve pretty effectively. See if he can keep it up. And he does. Ma Long hasn't had many good answers on the receive for that serve. been consistently effective, and Xu Xin getting the spinny follow-up forehand. You can see the serve placement there. You don't hear Ma Long talking to himself too much. Grim times right now in this match. Again, the service placement out to the forehand tends to be a little bit more effective for him. Oh, burned again over the table. The backhand of Xu Xin right now. Nothing is getting in his way. He's a train off the tracks, at least on track to winning this match. But Xu Xin not being stopped right now. 6 match points for Xu Xin to pull off a pretty big upset here. And there it is, quickly does it. 11 points to 4. The most unbeaten player in table tennis of the last 2 years has just been beaten by world rank number 3, the most entertaining player in the game, Xu Xin. And the Xu Xin show will continue as the Cloud Walker walks on to the men's singles finals. Applause to the home crowd that supported him last year. And while it's not his home, it is his house. He's defending his title. He'll be playing later today against either Fan Zhendong or Zhang Jike. Stick around to see who wins that match. But coming up before that, we've got a women's singles semifinals between Liu Shiwen and Zhu Yuling. Stay right here, you're watching the Japan Open.